In 1 minute merge onto scenic route 365. Stay straight until you reach your destination.
Hey guys, today I am going to tear into my shower and see about replacing the faucet. We went on our last trip down into Florida and this was leaking, and so I've got to fix that. And so while I've got all this torn out, I'm thinking of just putting a new one on. I have not seen any videos of a shower set up like mine in an RV. So this is more a residential looking setup. It doesn't have the two hot and cold with a outlet underneath it for the wand. So I have no idea what's going to be back here. So far I've just taken the shower head off, a couple of screws at the top and the bottom. This access panel I'm fixing to remove and cut the silicone with a knife and pull it off and see what's back there. So once I get these other screws out, I will get back with you. Okay everybody, I wanted to give you an update. So I've got the screws out, cut the silicone. So if you're remotely looking at the video trying to figure out if you're going to do this to your RV, then you're probably familiar with plumbing, or at least somewhat mechanically inclined, not just overwhelmed and scared of stuff like this. So this just comes apart like a regular home shower. You've got your cover that screws on, you know, all this comes together as normal, just like if you were to go and buy one for your home. It's exactly the same. So take this off, and of course cut your silicone with a razor blade before you try to pry it around everything, so it'll come off easier. And then the shower surround that comes over here, that just screwed on. So I did use some channel locks to unscrew that. So what I was left with is this panel just sitting there. So I'm thinking, if I just cut the silicone it would come off, but that wasn't the case. So let me show you what they did. Okay, they've used two-sided foam tape, and they use a lot of it. So I hope that y'all can see that. You can see, I guess, where they pressed it harder. And I couldn't really get it off. It's off obviously now. I was able to work it a little bit at the bottom, a little bit on the sides where there's not as much tape. And so what I did is I went and I got one of these little painter's tools, a 3-in-1 scraper, and I just kept working it as best that I could, and eventually I could get my whole arm in there. And these areas, they were really tough to get, but this was small enough, stiff enough, and sharp enough to get through this. So if you run into that problem on yours, now we have a Dynamax Isata, so I don't know how different manufacturers put their coaches together, but this is a good idea. I think it's better than using liquid nails, but and I'll get this off of here and I'll go back with it because it's working good and it's sealing good. So I wanted to update y'all and show you that. I would have never thought that I would have ran into that problem. So that's good information. I wish I had it. So now what I'm going to do is these screws I'm going to take out and then take that whole piece of plywood off, because I've got to, this is the problem, and I've twisted it out, but it's to the point now to where the fitting is spinning as well. And then I'll have access to all this plumbing, which is pretty accessible. I could get in there if I needed to just change that valve by itself, but because I've got to get this shower head, I'm gonna just take that whole thing off and hope for the best. So that's where I'm at, and I'm gonna continue on, and I'll give you another update shortly. Thanks. Okay, another update. Took out the screws, very straightforward. Actually went and got my power drill to back them out. I usually, me personally, wouldn't use power equipment because I don't want to over torque or rip something. But remove this plywood here, and bingo, we got access to everything. And at this point, this thing, it did just screw out, but this was caught on the back side of that piece of vinyl, and I couldn't get it out. But I'm assuming that this cracked over time or whatever. This is plastic. So, but this is the main problem. I'm just, while I've got it torn apart, you might as well spend an extra few dollars and get everything brand new before you button it back up together. And looking at it, I'm gonna prop this up. I don't want these pipes to break or something. I may just go to Camping World and get a regular RV faucet that has that little spigot, you know, for your wand. I haven't decided yet, because I could cap that off and I'd still have a hole in my vinyl, but I don't know. Have to think about it still. If I could come up with something to, which I don't want it to get ugly, my RV ugly or anything, but if I could come up with something that would cover this, even if I put in a dummy one of these, I think in the long run for future maintenance, it may be easier to just deal with a regular style RV faucet. This is probably made better, but here I am replacing it, and the reason the ball valve is a little difficult to move, and you have to twist it for the hot and the cold, and I don't really like that because there's not a really solid anchor piece like in your home. You've got 2x4s to anchor that mechanism to, and so it's not going to budge. Where here, there's no anchor at all. So that worries me that one day I'll snap something. So that's why I'm considering just getting a regular style RV one, and what I would consider stepping down, but for practical use, because I use this shower, my wife uses this shower, I fit in here. This is what we use. We don't go to the bathhouse. So anyway, that's my thoughts on it. So after I get parts and make my decision, I'll get back with you. Hey everybody, well, I had this shower torn apart. I noticed there was some water damage a little bit at the bottom, and I checked it. It's not rotten, it's just watermarks. So I bought some Flex Seal, and I'm just going to put a light coat on it while I have it apart. So I'm going to go spray it and be letting it dry. While I'm waiting for the plywood to dry, I'm going to put the double-sided foam tape back on this vinyl. And what this is it's Scotch outdoor, not indoor. mounting tape. And I got this at Lowe's. Home Depot said they didn't carry it. I just think that they were wrong. Everybody should have this. Camping World had a very small roll, but it wouldn't have been enough. But it's red and it's double-sided, and that's the direct replacement. Don't get indoor. It's not sticky enough. So this is, zoom in on that. And I got 2 rolls of this because this stuff's good to have, so that's all that they had. I wanted to make sure I had enough, but I'm sure we'll use this somewhere in the future. So I'm gonna restrip this while the other is drying, and we'll start getting everything put back together. I got through putting the double-sided film tape on, and the 2 rolls that I had, which were the big rolls, they didn't go far enough. Now originally, like I think I mentioned, it's overkill as much as they put on there, and this should be better than what they used initially. It's wider, it's 1 inch thick versus 1/2 inch thick. I did around the cutouts really good, around the edges, the bottom, top, and the sides, as close as I could get it. But this should be plenty. But if you've got an entire wall, then you're going to need several rolls, and it doesn't go as far as I had originally thought it would. I guess because it's just so thick. But I just want to give you that information, and I'm going to let me show you what I got. I went ahead and bought a Delta replacement valve. Came with the shower head, and you know, this is the only piece that I actually needed, but you know, if you got it torn apart, why not replace everything? It does have one valve that you just turn and turn back. You don't have to lift it up or maneuver it. So that was really what I wanted. I think this was $80, $69, $70, around in there. So I don't know if it's builder grade, but I'm not going to use it that much. And it does have a lifetime warranty. So it comes with paperwork and to fill out, you know, if you're interested in that. But lifetime warranty, under $100, with what I think would be a less stressful putting pressure on the components behind the shower as you're using it. So I thought that was the best way to go because of the holes and the way everything was cut out in my vinyl and in that piece of plywood. So that's what I ended up going with. I'm going to start putting the fittings and stuff in this and switching it over. Okay, I put all the fittings back and fixing to put that piece of plywood that I painted with that Flex Seal and screw it all back together. But it just came out the same way, or went in the same way, and it came out pretty much. And so now it's just reversing what I did to take it all out. Okay, I am back. I've finished putting it all back together. I think it looks great. What do y'all think? Let me know. I have to caulk still, but that's all I've got left. Now this really is great. I don't have my pump on, obviously, but I ran it and water tested everything before I finished putting it back together. But yeah, this, if you have one of these types, and this is so much easier and to adjust it, so that's going to be great, and I'm pleased with it. I do have to say this was if you had a job 1 to 10, 10 being the hardest, I think it's a 10. I'm not a plumber, but you know, anything like that, I've just halfway know how to do this stuff. But what makes it so difficult is the close quarters. You know, it's hard to get to everything, and again, this wasn't an RV faucet, so RVs that have RV faucets might be a little bit easier, but it was pretty straightforward. But if you've never tackled anything like this, I would try to get some help. You know, talk to somebody, some friends or some campers, people that camping that may have done it before, and get their advice, or at least have them on standby to help. But other than that, it's done, and I'm glad we did it. That neck that came out, this new one is copper. I mean, not copper, but chrome, so it should never crack like the plastic one did. But it looks good, and the way that thing operates is there's no movement or anything on the plumbing pipes, so I think it's going to be awesome. Thanks for watching. Please tell me if you would have done something different, or what you think about the video, if you think you could do it yourself, or what. And please like and subscribe. We're a new channel, but we could use your help. And this is Scenic Route Travelers 365. Remember to get off the beaten path and take the scenic route.